You're listening to the Impact Implosion on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
July 19th, 2018. It's another episode of the Impact Implosion here on the AngryMarks Podcast Network. As always, I am Seth Draken, and with me as always, the new blood to my Solid Snake Pentagon Jr., Mr. Mike Poland.
Hello!
So we got
Sienna's gone.
Sienna's gone? Oh, I did not know that part, but...
Yep, she left. Apparently that came out yesterday.
Oh, that's a shocker, but...
I wonder if she'll be in the Mae Young Classic.
Who knows? Who the hell knows? Let's see, what we also had, was, Sami Callihan.
Slammiversary is sold out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they did? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Sami Callihan considers himself the new Undertaker. You'll be famous after facing him. Yeah. By the way, we gotta talk about this, but first, congratulations to Tommaso Ciampa, who showed up one time on Impact and is now the NXT World Champion.
Yes, he is.
And I guess we gotta talk about this because it has two Impact alumni, the Jay Lethal...
Taylor Hendricks.
Yeah. Look, I don't know who's right in this one. I really don't, because Taylor, there's a reason Taylor's not anywhere in the big leagues. She might be a bit crazy. Because she's attractive as fucking hell.
What?
She's attractive as fucking hell.
She is, definitely that. When was she in Impact?
She won the gut check.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah. She won one of those gut checks.
Gut
check. Yeah, and had a run for a little bit. Oh, and Tessa Blanchard signed a new long-term deal.
Just in time for her to probably lose at Slammiversary, but more on that later.
Yeah, back to the Taylor Hendricks thing. I'm sorry about that. I got Jack in the show with that, but also Jay Lethal, as everyone knows, former X Division champion, Black Machismo,
current Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah, current Ring of Honor champion. We're not going to say. I'm not going to say too much on it because it's. I
don't know enough about it. I've seen posts about it over the past few weeks, but I don't really know enough about it at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not going to say either side. There is reason to doubt, but there's reason to doubt both stories. But on that note, we got to get into. We have 2 weeks Impact
and a pay-per-view to preview.
Oh yeah, and a pay-per-view to preview because that's going to be this Sunday, which sadly I'm watching.
I'll be watching it as well.
So let's get to last week's Impact, which I had terrible audio for this because I did not watch this on, I watched this on YouTube. Someone had it up, but with terrible fucking audio.
Yeah, that's the problem I had before I moved from my mom's house when we didn't have cables. I had to try to find all that shit on YouTube.
Yep. Last week, LAX versus LAX begins. And then we get the new LAX called, the old LAX. It's called the OGs now.
The OGs!
And they have new music. And, by the way, this audio, I will begin with this audio so horrible that it makes Josh Matthews sound like a midget. Oh, it's going to get worse. It'll get worse when a certain somebody shows up. But, yeah, the OG squashed two jobbers who we don't even know their names of.
We don't even get their names. That's when you know you're jobbers, when you don't even get names.
When they're too busy beating the shit out of you that the announcer doesn't even name you.
And then Kingston cuts a promo.
Kingston says, Conan, story time, Conan had to go because I'm tired of fucking waiting. But since Conan is a smart man, I decided to stay 2 steps ahead of him. So I'm tired of Conan. These old guys these buddies of mine are tired of Conan favoring those young boys. So they came back to side with me. And LAX versus OGs in a 51-50 street fight. And I guess it won't be for the tag title since King says they don't care about him.
No, it's for the title.
I know, we'll get to that later. At the time, it didn't seem like it was for the tag titles because they didn't care about them.
Impact Wrestling, everybody.
Nice way to promote your titles, by the way. They don't fucking care about them.
We don't want the belts, we just want to beat them.
Yeah. So Alicia is backstage with Shotzi Blackheart, and apparently she impressed Impact officials at a Rise event. And tonight she will be making her Impact
rise
debut.
Out of them.
Yep, making her debut against Sally. And oh boy, is she full of puns. And here's the problem with her puns.
They're all terrible.
They're all, besides the fact they're terrible, I don't think she knows they're bad puns like when Becky Lynch does the bad puns, where she knows they're bad, and she's doing them anyways.
Or Natty does them.
With a wink of, oh yeah, I know these fucking shit. I know this is bad.
Or when Natalia does them.
Yeah. Yeah. We're just going to do them with a wink. Yeah, they're bad. So, D'Angelo Williams will be here tonight to give an update on Moose.
Yippee.
But it's time for OVE promo time with their special camera. And Sammy says their opponents, which are Rich Swann, Phoenix, and Pentagon Jr., are screwed tonight because they are facing the best trios in the business. I think both Chikara and Lucha Underground would disagree with you on that.
Wait, who's the trio in Lucha Underground?
Well, the last King of Trios was actually British Strong Style won the last King of Trios.
That's who is that?
That's Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, and Trent Seven.
Yes, Mustache Mountain.
Yep. They won the last one. But yeah, if you want to be the best trios, you gotta either be in Lucha Underground, which I guess Sami Callihan is in, but is dead right now, by the way. And Chikara, they know trios action. But interesting that Jay Christ is over on the sideline while Sami Callihan's talking. He has the Pentagon Jr. mask, and he's doing it like a freaking puppet.
It's Mr. Masco.
Yeah. So it's time for Shotzi Blackheart versus Allie, and Shotzi has some interesting moves here.
Yes.
She actually impressed a bit. Although Allie won with the code breaker.
Of course.
Unfortunately, we will see Shotzi next week, but we won't see her for a while because she got injured, I hear.
Yes, broke her ankle at the Rise show that happened a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, ouch.
The one that was on Twitch that I watched some of, but we're not going to talk about here.
Yeah.
Because I only saw some.
Tessa attacks Allie from behind, and you could have seen that coming a mile away by the way it was shot and everything. You're like, Tessa's coming. Tessa's fucking coming.
Oh, shit, she's not going to wink at us, though.
Nope, she's not going to wink at us here, but Tessa comes, hits Allie with the hammerlock DDT, and yells at her for helping Madison Rain last week.
And we have a match at Slammiversary.
Yeah. Grado is with Katarina and Joe Hendry, and they run into Eli Drake, who is talking to somebody. And Grado says, hey, things are looking up for both of us. And Drake's like, Katarina, this must be a joke. You're dating him, right? and Jericho's like, hey, Stop getting on my girl, man. I'll fight you tonight. And Drake's like, whatever. So backstage, D'Angelo Williams is hanging out with Z&E.
Yeah.
And then we get Tessa Blanchard saying her reason for the attack was because Allie got in her way of the Knockouts title, along with Madison Rayne. She said,
yep.
And she legit said Allie's best friend is dead.
Nah, just injured.
No, but she said she was dead. Bit strong there.
Dead.
Yeah, dead. So we had a video package to hype up Tommy Dreamer versus Eddie Edwards at Slammiversary. And we had another vignette to hype up the new girl who is coming soon.
Scarlett Bordeaux.
We'll get to that. Austin Aries, here's Moose in an undisclosed location, training for his match, and Aries says, despite all that, it won't work against him. I'm getting flustered here. He also says that D'Angelo Williams is another washed-up former NFL player and wants to hear from him. First of all, let me get a drink. D'Angelo Williams is not a washed-up player. He's a former
Pac-Man Jones.
No, he's a former two-time Pro Bowler.
Right.
And he was starting running back for two teams at certain points, my Panthers and Steelers.
Yep.
Now, I took a break at this point to head to dinner, but when I came back, GWN Moment of the Week, Taryn Terrell versus defeated Gail Kim in the last knockout standing match with ODB as a ref, and perfect timing because I took my dog for a walk at this point.
Hey, Miley.
Sorry, I've seen this too much times.
Yep.
So, time for an in-ring interview with D'Angelo Williams. And he said, yeah, I did say I would never do this again, but I'm back.
But you're not wrestling, you're just talking. Don't worry about it.
And I said, yeah, they all said they wouldn't be back, but professional wrestling is kind of addicting.
Yeah.
D'Angelo says Moose looks great in his training, and he is definitely ready. He also thinks Aries is trashed, and brought along some footage of Moose training. Cue the montage.
Montage.
We see a montage of Moose training. After the montage, Josh asks again if Moose is ready. D'Angelo goes to answer, but here comes Aries with his still shitty theme, which doesn't even get Betty worth the crappy audio.
Right.
But at least I can understand he's fucking singing this time. It's him. So, Aries tells Josh to leave, which he does, and talks to D'Angelo. He mocks D'Angelo's clothes. He's like, well, looks like you're ready. You came here tonight in my ring dressed. Mm-hmm. He's surprised that D'Angelo is here as training camp may be going on right now. Is a training camp going? Oh, right. You're not on a team right now. Nobody wants your services in the field anymore. Despite Josh, just like Moose, despite Josh saying earlier that Moose could still be playing in the NFL today, if he wanted to, which kind of was false. He was a journeyman. They don't last too long. So, and then he makes fun of the fact that D'Angelo Williams never won a Super Bowl. And then says, you never won championships, just like Moose. So you're both the same. And then Aries says, I think you're just here to keep yourself relevant, which kind of insults him. So D'Angelo's like trying to calm things down. He's like, this is just an interview, man. And Aries like, I understand that. So I'm going to tell you to deliver messages to Moose, which is to attack him. He tries to hit D'Angelo with the chair. D'Angelo ducks and kicks Aries right back. He goes for the chair to hit Aries, but Aries ducks and kicks D'Angelo in the balls. And then hits him in the back with the chair. And so he stands tall with the belt and a big shit-eating grin.
Yeah.
We go back to Falaba and KM, and KM's like, if last week didn't prove anything, then I'm still committed to this team. I don't know what will. And how about a handshake? And Ba gives him a handshake. So they're back together. And
no.
Yama Singh shows up and says, hey, I see you two going to get the tag. You want the tag titles, but we're going to get the tag titles first and bring on to India, the greatest nation of all. And KM calls Gama new fish and says, hey, you guys want to come get some? Come on. And Gama's like, you are typical North Americans. One of you puts shit in your mouth, and the other one takes shits out their mouth.
Hmm?
You know, puts stuff in their mouth, falaba, and this has stuff come out of their mouth, which is KM.
Okay.
In, out. So it's time for Eli Drake versus Grado.
Yeah.
Josh and Don are trying to start some shit by saying, hey, Katarina posts more stuff with her and about her and Joe Hendry than her and Grado. And then
How would you guys know that?
Josh, you know, I like Joe Hendry and all, but I would not say this. Even Don Callis had to look at him, discuss after this. Josh calls Joe Hendry a combination of Fergie and Jesus.
Say what now?
He said that. Yep, Fergie and Jesus.
Look, what that's an odd combination.
Yeah, even Chet Don's like, what? Fergie and Jesus. And he's like, what the hell,
wrong
man?
with you?
What is wrong with you? Shut up, Josh. So, Grado tried a Hurricanrana, except unlike us Congo Cat last week, he landed on the back of his head. He could not get all the way through.
Whoopsie.
Yep. Yes, Congo Cat is a better worker than this goof.
Yes.
That's saying something. So this was a short match, and Eli Drake won with Gravy Train.
Yep.
And then Drake tries to hit on Katrina, and Joe Hendry has to tell him to back off. And then Eli's like, huh? Hey, Grado, I think Joe Hendry's moving in on your girl. And then leaves.
But she might be anyway.
And Killer Cross, and from whatever dimension he is in, cuts a promo. He said, I was having a good time last week. And then Petey Williams had to frickin' ruin it. So, Petey, next time I find you, I'm going to squeeze all the oxygen out of your skull. So, I do like this Killer Cross character.
He's gonna murder him, basically.
Yeah, he's going to kill him. If he could get a better finisher and not be as overpowered, he'd be a better character. We'll get to that. Alicia is backstage with Matt Sydal. I would like to mention that Matt Sydal sounds like a Keebler elf because of bad audio.
Yes.
He sounds like he's going to want to give you cookies. Or crackers.
Sydal's cookies.
Yep. He says, hey, why are people overlooking me? Those people have closed eyes to see that the real mismatch is in my favor. Brian sees things in a mechanical way. I see things. This is an organic world. When machines break, they fall apart, but organic things come back to life when they break. Depends on what they break. That was mine. So, Gage's just as foolish as everyone else who thinks that size matters. He says if that were the case, he would have no career, and he would have no title. but he has been
Well,
beating
you're half right.
himself because the muscle he flexes the most is in his head.
I'd say it's his brain.
Yep. So he has a spiritual and mental advantage over Cage, and he will walk out champion.
Hopefully the spiritual advantage is not Josh Matthews again.
Yeah. So, just announced for Slammiversary, Allie versus Tessa Blanchard.
Huzzah!
And then we get Moose on the phone, who is fucking pissed. He's like, you know what? I'm coming next week's Impact, and I'm calling Aries out.
Yep.
So, time for the sit-down interview with Madison Rayne. And oh dear God, the bad audio made me have to lower the volume because listening to Madison Rayne on bad audio hurts. She does not have a voice. A good voice. It's, oh my God!
Oh, she Dixie Carter?
No, she's, that's what it sounded like to me. But louder.
God.
It was bad. But anyway, she talks about how she's getting ready for Su Yung. And then Su Young's laugh somewhere happens. And then shit starts getting weird. Madison says, excuse me, and then goes to look around like a dumbass victim in a horror movie. And then the female interviewer disappears. And there's a bloody message on the wall that says, your time has come. By the way, your is spelled you are.
Yay, grammar.
Yep. So, Madison then follows what looks to be part of a dress and gets locked in a room. And when she finally opens it, she apparently sees something, but we go to black. Main event time. Main event time. And we get a great match between Pentagon Jr., Phoenix, Rich Swann versus OVE. It's Lucha Rules. Bad audio makes OVE's theme sound like flies buzzing.
OVE.
Yeah, it sounds like that. I'm sorry to the people for my terrible audio. I apologize. I have to mention that this is on my end. This is not on your end. So Pentagon Jr. does the Cero Miedo taunt, but Sammy starts biting his fingers, and this transitions to everyone giving everyone a super kick.
Somehow.
And then because super kick parties are cool. But then we see some really cool double team moves by Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. I'm not gonna. So then we get a superplex by Dave Chris of Rich Swann onto everyone. A Tower of Doom spot, but Jay Chris catches Phoenix, who's on the top of it, into a power bomb, and that gets a 2 count. Jumping pile driver by Sammy onto Rich Swann. Pentagon breaks it up. Pentagon driver, and Sammy kicks out at 2. And then we get a lot of awesome-ass variations of the cutter from the 6. Each of them hit the other with a cutter, including top rope cutters.
You get a cutter. You get a cutter. You get a cutter.
Everyone gets a cutter. Double T. 2 cutters in 1. So Sammy flips off and spits on both luchadors, who proceed to deliver a double team spike pile driver, but Pentagon Jr. is doing a spike pile driver, and Phoenix decides to double foot stomp Sammy's butt in the air.
Why?
He has leap. I know I'm not describing this well enough, but let me tell you this. Pentagon Jr.'s got Sammy Callahan, what looks like a cradle pile driver. Looks like, and then goes on the top rope. Phoenix on the top rope, jumps high enough to land on Sammy's backside to spike him and get on the ground safely, not to hurt anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
He's got air. So, and Sammy still kicks out of this. Fear Factor from Pentagon Jr. on the Jake Christ onto the apron, which spots like that are unnecessary.
But they're cool. But they're unnecessary.
They're unnecessary, and they'll end as shorter careers. So,
yeah.
Super power bomb off the turnbuckle from Sammy onto Rich Swann, and then to get out of here for the win. Great match.
Get out of here.
And I was about to give this a B, maybe a strong A, because that was a great fucking match, but we didn't end with that, did we?
I don't think so.
No, we had to go back to Madison Rain's fake horror movie shit. It turns out that Madison Rain, the door that she was locked in, turns out it leads, which it wasn't from a, interview room. She got locked in the closet or something. And it leads to the woods. She's outside in the woods now.
Oh no, we're going to have another fight in the woods.
She gets stalked by and surrounded by the undead bridesmaids who are about to attack her, but then Madison covers her eyes and screams, and they disappear. But then Steve Young shows up behind her and in a manly voice says, "Your time has come!" and then attacks her. And that's how we ended the show.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, what the fuck was that? And I hate to tell you people, it's going to get worse. They continued this the next week. I hate to tell you that. It's going to get worse. So, and I said this after last week. Did Madison Rain get murdered last week? We will find out tonight.
Yay.
So, we begin with P.D. Williams versus Killer Cross. And this Killer Cross guy has gotten a lot better in the second match. P.D. goes for the Canadian Destroyer. Killer Cross reversed it into what he calls the Doomsday Saito, which is a Saito suplex. He then chokes P.D. out with what looks more like a Cobra Clutch. He has changed it to a regular headlock and now a Cobra Clutch. And calls that the Cross Jacket. Ref tries to call for the belt, but Cross says, "What the fuck is wrong with you? No, I ain't calling for the belt." So Cross has Petey, and he's like, "Come on, Petey, get up. Get up. Let's try the Canadian Destroyer again." He dares him to try to hit him with it again, but Petey tries it, and Killer Cross just picks him up, looks at him like, this was dumb. Just stands there with him on his back, gives him an Alabama slam, then locks in the cross jacket and tells the ref, "Now you can ring the bell this time." And the ref, then he chases the ref out of the ring. And he casually grabs his jacket and leaves the X card on Petey's body. I'm glad they fixed my gripes from last time. They expanded it to not a regular headlock to actually be a Cobra Clutch, which I can accept that as being a finisher more. And there were moments where Petey actually got the hit Cross and it affected him. So it wasn't often, but yeah, you could see him not being completely overpowered.
Mm-hmm.
So it was great. They've really made him look good. So then we have Joe Hendry doing a photo shoot. But Grado and Katarina have to interfere. And he's like, hey Joe, what's this about what Eli Drake said last week? And he said, don't worry about it. Nothing's happening. Dude, he's just trying to get in your head. But then we get a photo picture, which it says Katarina and Joe Hendry and Grado. With a photo that says that, yeah. And Grado, and yeah, the picture they got was Katarina and Joe Hendry looking at each other, and Grado looking like, huh?
Something going on here.
So Joe has a surprise later tonight. But time for KM and Falapa versus the Desi Hit Squad. And actually, I'm glad that KM and Falaba are working together. They're great. They both know how to do the log roll squish spot together.
Yep.
And yeah, KM's getting cheered. But as Gama distracts the ref, Rohit throws KM to the outside. He goes to the apron, pokes the eyes of Falapa, and Gooder Singh rolls him up with the feet on the ropes for the win.
Gooder Singh sounds like a southern name.
It's Gursinder Singh.
Gursinder.
Yeah.
That's the Gooder.
So, video segment by LAX is set up the 5150 street fight, and it's at this point we learn that it's for the tag titles, even though the OG said last week they don't care about them. Okay.
Huzzah.
But it's time for Joe Hendry's debut match against one Eli Drake. And his entrance is great. I love Joe Hendry's entrance. And we have a moment where Grado can't even roll in the ring. And then Joe Hendry, for special things, has a song for Eli Drake, which is basically to show the stuff he's done on YouTube, including him in drag. Yeah, where he's been Skeletor in drag, he's been somebody else, and you said that he's like, what the hell is this? And then Eli Drake's like, punches him and then says, oh, thanks for the reference or whatever. Thanks for the mention. And then match begins. It's a short match. Joe Hendry shows somewhat impressive, and he reverses the gravy train into a roll-up for the win. And then Katarina hugs Joe, and Grado's a little concerned by this.
He's stealing your girl, man.
He probably should. I probably should where it goes. So next match is Andrew Everett versus Desmond Xavier, or it would be until Petey Williams assaults everyone.
Eddie Edwards,
yeah. Assaults everyone with a goddamn kendo stick, including the ref who has to scream, ah! Who screams after getting hit.
Promo of some sort.
Yeah, Eddie cuts a promo, and bless your heart, Eddie, you are trying way too fucking hard to be a psychopath. It's laughable.
And it's not working.
No, it's not. Blood! I'm gonna watch you bleed!
Sounds more like a zombie.
I know. It's funny. It really is sad that, yeah. I'm gonna
heal you, bad promo.
The true innovator of violence. It's gonna be paid.
No,
Violence, blood. This Sunday, I'm gonna hurt you. And then he makes Snow Angels in the ring while holding the kendo stick, and he has new theme music.
Eddie's a heel, but he still can't do a promo good.
Oh no! Oh no! At least when he was a face, he was generic. Now,
generic and evil.
He's laughable. He's laughable evil. And then
he's like Disney villain evil.
Yeah. Then we go to Madison Rain. Yep, I said this was continuing. Here we fucking go. Here we go.
No.
Here we go. I'd like to preface this point that I ended up screaming into my pillow because of this.
Your pillow?
Yes, I had a pillow, and I put my head into it and screamed about how horrible this was. So,
Good God.
Madison wakes up in a funeral home, as it's all her personal stuff, photos of her as a kid and stuff. Apparently, it's her funeral. And then someone created a wax dummy of Madison Rain, and it's in a coffin. And then we see a creepy bald guy who's just like, you okay? And then reveals himself to be in makeup. And says, oh, you're gonna fucking get it. Your time has come. Then Madison runs out of the room, trips, and sees a little girl who simply asks, where's my mother? Do you know where my mother is? And she's like,
but I am your mother.
I don't know. She's like, I don't know where your mother is. And I think that's actually maybe her daughter or not. Suddenly, the little girl has the makeup on, and says, your time has come. And then Madison wakes up in the woods, back in the woods, in the middle of the fucking field. So Madison's like, what the hell's going on here? And then she gets new blood dumped on her.
Oh, boy.
You remember all the blood, the new blood
in the background somewhere.
WCW, the new blood that would drip on people, and sometimes people had to run into it because of it was not at the right spot.
Wasn't it like period blood or something? Oh, never mind.
And it was just, and it would basically be, and if it was a guy who was not part of the new blood, it hurt. It'd be like death. But if you were part of the new blood, the heel group, even a smidge of it's like, you're fine. Nothing happens to you. You're not poisoned.
Makes perfect sense.
So, yes, Madison Rain has now new blood dripped on her, although it does look like chocolate.
Phantasma?
I don't know. But, it does. Yeah, no, so not that chocolate. Actual chocolate sauce. It looks more like chocolate syrup than blood.
Oh yeah, somebody's making chocolate milk.
Yeah. So Madison's screaming at all this, and So Young and the undead bridesmaids laugh on.
I hope this means that Madison isn't winning, but I have a feeling they might do that.
And that's the end of it.
Yay.
Oh my God.
Terrible.
2 weeks we had to deal with this shit. And for 2 weeks, this killed the show. This, you're like, what the fuck is this? What is this shit? TNA, I know all the people who did the final deletion and all that shit, they're all gone. So stop trying to copy that shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone.
We have a Sami Callihan squash up next.
Actually, first we have a montage to hype up Pentagon Jr. versus Sami Callihan, match versus hair. And then we have the squash match as Sami Callihan's taking on Greg Osborne, who has a boomerang because he's Australian.
And Josh makes a joke about, is he related to Ozzy?
Makes related to who?
Ozzy Osbourne.
I thought Ozzy Osbourne was British.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Greg Osborne. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
So Sammy beats him up for a bit, then puts the Pentagon mask on Osborne and gets on the mic to curse up a storm, and once again accepts the mask versus hair match, and asks the fans if they want to see.
You could have had Osborne just roll him up and beat him.
Yeah, asks him, "You want to see me lose my hair?" we're not gonna. And then
yes, we are,
get out of hell for the win.
Pentagon's not losing his mask.
The Chris beat up the jobber after the match and throw him out of the ring. Then Sammy is like, the people backstage say I gotta promote this shit. This show on Sunday. Yeah,
Sunday.
Nice of them to say that, oh yeah, I gotta do this. Not that I'm going to do this, but that I gotta do this. So, and then Pentagon Jr. shows up in a pre-tape segment where he talks about how he's ready and all that. So, Sammy and the Chris decide to go looking for him. So, Allie cuts a promo from the stairs, feels sad for Tessa.
Kara Hogan's here.
For what Tessa said, she said, what have you learned? And then Kara Hogan shows up, and yes, the tag match is coming up. But Moose has arrived into the ring, and he is looking for Austin Aries. $5 says we will get a satellite promo from Aries somewhere else. I was happy.
That segment's later.
Yeah. But montage the hype up, Allie versus Tessa Blanchard at Slammiversary. And next we get Allie and Kara Hogan versus Tessa Blanchard and Shotzi Blackheart.
Huzzah.
And now Josh is like, did you see that disturbing stuff with Madison Rayne? Oh, dear God. I'm like, Josh, you really should be more concerned about your wife. Getting kidnapped, getting drenched in blood and all that shit.
Nope.
He's like, did you see that? My God. And then
let's do this.
Then we get the best part, Tessa Blanchard's entrance and the wink.
All she got to do is just give me that wink.
Yep. And Shotzi this is an okay match. Shotzi, they actually did very minimum of Tessa and Allie. They kept them separate for most of it.
Yeah.
And then at the end, and several key moments where I think Tessa tags in Shotzi, but I think she accidentally slapped her in the face. Not purposely, but it looked like she was trying to tag, and it looked like she might have hit her in the face accidentally, and Shotzi's like, okay, tag. So it might not have been intentional. But Shotzi tag out, and Tessa's like, no, this is you. This is all on you, man. I'm done. And Shotzi gets beaten with the code breaker.
Yep.
Then we go backstage with OVE. And
they're looking for Pentagon.
Chris Brothers secretly disappear as Sammy keeps looking for Pentagon. And then we find out, after a commercial break, Mystery Woman is Scarlett Bordeaux.
Yay.
Who, by the way...
She can't wrestle a lick.
She is better. She's attractive, but she's more attractive with red hair.
Yep.
And then we get a video package to hype up Johnny Impact's return to Slammiversary, including the four-way. Yep, the Fatal 4-Way. And then we get a montage to hype up Matt Sydal versus Brian Cage for the X Division title at Slammiversary.
We did not tape anything for this next 20 minutes until the Moose segment, so we're going to show you this. And
then we get another montage to hype up that we've seen several times to hype up the world title match. And then it's time for more Pentagon Jr. stuff as we see that the Chris brothers have been separated and teleported to different rooms somehow. And they end up bumping into each other.
What's worse, this stuff or the Su Yung Madison Rayne stuff from earlier?
The Madison Rayne Su Yung stuff. This stuff was a bit better.
Okay.
Despite the monkey in the production truck. We'll realize that. So they find what looks like Pentagon and start to beat him up, but realize, oh, it's Sami Callihan in the mask.
That's what you have to tell them to unmask him.
Yeah, he's gagged.
Take the mask off.
Yeah. So, and then Pentagon attacks both of them while Sammy's still tied up.
And I think I heard one of them said, "My ankle, my ankle."
Yep. And by the way, all this cut is cut with stuff from the past. See, as a monkey's in the cutting room.
The monkey's
floor.
in the production truck.
Yeah, he's in the production truck cutting the shit. And you're like, what the fuck?
Monkey's in the truck.
Yeah, monkey's in the truck. TNA's got their pet monkey in the truck. And it's gone crazy again.
But does this big Pentagon a heel here for beating up these guys?
No.
Why
It says he outsmarts them for one time. They've been beating the shit out of him. Triple teaming him. And he now beats all three of them.
Okay.
So here comes.
And Moose
then
segment.
we go to a pissed off Moose. And Moose is calling out Aries in the ring because he plans on sticking a banana up Aries' ass. I'm going to stick that banana up your ass. And I'm like, kinky. That's some 50 shades. That's some not 50 shades. 42 weeks, 42 and a half weeks. Shit, right there. Don't stick the banana up my ass. God damn it. That's some gay shit. That is weird. But anyways, Aries is not here. And he says, hey, Moose, you're going to have to wait for me to get your hands on me until Slammiversary. You're going to have to wait. But
he attacks Moose.
He's actually here because that was all pre-taped to distract Moose. And Aries shows up, kicks Moose in the balls from behind, and hits him with a chair.
Oh, the power of pre-tapes. They can distract the stupidest of people.
Yep. But unfortunately, Aries is stupid too, as he poses too damn much.
And Moose beats him up and takes him away.
Moose is like behind him, and you're like, Aries is like, oh dear, this guy's behind me, isn't he? Oh fuck! Oh fuck!
He's behind me.
And Aries grabs him by the neck with two hands, throws him in the corner, is about to hit him with a chair, but Aries ducks and runs like a scaredy cat.
And that's the end of the show.
We end the show with the final hype for Bound for Glory.
Slammiversary.
For Slammiversary, my bad. Get those.
Bound for Glory is a little later.
Yeah, we get these Impact shows a little confused, but yeah, I give this another C. This Madison Rain bullshit. And yeah, the monkey in the truck on with the Pentagon stuff was really stupid.
And on to the pay-per-view that Sunday.
Oh yeah, on to the pay-per-view this Sunday. All right, the card. First, we have the Fatal 4-Way.
I'm thinking Johnny Impact in his return gets the win here.
Yeah, I think so too.
By pinning Swan, because I don't think he's going to pin Phoenix or Ishimori.
Then we got Tessa Blanchard versus Allie.
Tessa needs to win, but I have a feeling since this is in WWE and this is in her hometown, I think Allie will win.
Dear God, Tessa needs to win. They have botched her completely badly. Holy shit. Then we got, in a House of Hardcore rules match, Eddie Edwards versus Tommy Dreamer.
Eddie Edwards will win this.
Yes.
And hopefully cut no more maniacal promos.
No more maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh.
No more promos in general.
Yeah, just please be a psychopath and that's it. Don't try to cut anything.
Don't try to be Dr. Evil.
Yeah. Then we have, for the tag titles, Latin American LAX versus the OGs. In a 51-50.
It feels like one of those things where they don't have any other team, so they go to the LAX teams here.
I actually think the OGs win. So
continue the feud for a while.
Continue the feud for a while, yep.
Okay, next.
Su Yung versus Madison Rayne for the knockouts.
I hope to God Su Yung wins.
Su Yung better win this fucking shit, because if Madison Rayne gets this belt, oh, God, Lord help me. They have made this feud horrible. This has been
still whatever momentum you're trying to build with Su Yung.
Yeah, this has been such a terrible feud that, oh dear, you just look at it and go,
have Su Yung win and just move her back to Allie and eventually Rosemary whenever she comes back.
Yeah, whatever. Just end this, please. End this horror movie shit that you can't do. And have Madison Rayne retire. Please.
Or just be like a trainer for the knockouts or something.
Yes, please.
Go into the world that Gail Kim Sheridan went into.
For the X Division Championship, Matt Sydal defends against Cage.
Brian Cage is your new champion.
If I think smartly, Brian Cage wins the match, and I hope Brian Cage wins. Yeah, this would be smart. Now, I keep saying if they're smart, they would do this, but because this is Impact, they could do something else. So, the match that you might be looking forward to the most, besides the main event, Pentagon Jr. versus Sami Callihan, mask versus hair. And
usually in this type of stipulation, the heel should lose.
Yeah, Sami Callihan's losing his hair.
Yep. Especially because does Pentagon wrestle in Mexico? Because I know they take that whole mask stuff seriously.
I know, yeah. He's got shit to defend. He's got to defend his mask in Mexico at some point and he's like gonna, I think, be in both CMLL and AAA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Pentagon goes over here.
Yeah, Pentagon's got to go over here. And the main event, Aries versus Moose. You got to give it to Moose.
Part of me thinks they're still gun shy on him still. But I got to give it to Moose just because you look at the heel side right now in Impact, and there's more potential there than there is on the face side.
Yeah, there is more potential.
You got Eddie Edwards as maybe like a TV challenger. You got Sami Callihan. You got Eli Drake's always there. If you can build him back up.
He can get Aries for another one.
Yep.
You got a bunch of people.
Well, there's not really a lot of faces you can put in that spot with Aries right
faces, now. You got... Who's you got
Impact,
with the faces? Impact,
Swan, Phoenix, and Pentagon.
Pentagon, Junior. Yeah, that's it. Maybe if Brian Cage doesn't win the X Division title, you put him in or something. That's it.
Well, that would be a Bound for Glory contender if you can keep him strong.
Yeah. That's fucking it. You got nothing else.
Yep. And on that note, I don't have anything to sell this week. Do you?
No, I do not.
So on that note, we will talk to you next week when we have to talk about the show.
Actually, I do have one thing to sell. I did not mention this 2 weeks ago, but I did induct a movie called Ghost in a Teeny Bikini. And by the way, it is a porno musical.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, it's hilarious to think of that. But that's all. And Miley, we are heading to bed.
Good night, folks.